If you're going to be a web developer and you're going to build websites, it's important to understand URLs and what makes up the different parts of the URLs. So I've built a page here to help you understand the basic parts of that URL. The first part of the URL is called the protocol. HTTP stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol, which is defined as the computer communication protocol used for most communication on the World Wide Web. Another option could be HTTPS, which stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol Secure, which is the secured version of HTTP. It's the primary protocol used to send data between a web browser and a website. HTTPS is encrypted in order to increase security of the data transfer. Another option is FTP, which stands for File Transfer Protocol. It is a standard network protocol used to transfer files between a client and a server. It essentially is a set of rules that allows computers to exchange files, establishing users to upload files to the server or to download them. The :/ acts as a separator between the protocol and the subdomain. Subdomain is a prefix added to the domain name to separate a section of your website. Site owners primarily use subdomains to manage extensive sections that require their own content hierarchy, such as online stores, blogs, job boards, or support platforms. Subdomains function as a separate website from its domain. The domain serves as a unique, human-readable address that identifies a specific website or server on the internet. Think of it as a street address of a building, while the URL is like a full set of directions, including the street address, the specific room, and even which door to use. The superdomain is also called the top-level domain, which is also known as TLDs. They indicate the type of organization or a geographical location. An example would be .com for a commercial site, a .org for organizational, .edu for an educational site, or .uk for United Kingdom. The path refers to a specific location of a resource on the web server. In essence, it acts like a file/folder path on your computer, guiding their browser to the exact file or directory within a website's structure where the desired resource resides. Now let's take a look at the URL that we will be using for this class. So in the example of the URL, https://cis-1350-01.sinclair.edu/case2/dr_index.html is broken down as follows. The https://cis-1350-801.sites/rex.montcastle is my space that Sinclair created for me because I am enrolled in Section 801 of the 1350 classes. Your space is the same URL with the exception of the 801 and the rex.montcastle. If you take out the 801 in the URL and you replace it with your class section number, for example, 5T1 802, 502, or 501, and etc. And you also remove the rex.montcastle, and you replace it with your username, then you should get to your space on the server. Remember, you have not uploaded any files at this point, so when you go to that URL, it's going to generate an error inside of the browser page. The next part of the URL, HTML01/case2/ indicates the directories that I created on the server to store my files. This area I control, and I can control how I set it up. There's a video link that explains how to upload your files to the Sinclair server in the course area. Please take a look at this. I chose to create the same file structure that the student data files have. You will be downloading the student data files, and when you unzip the files, you're going to see a structure that looks similar to the one on the screen. Each of the data files contain an HTML01, HTML02, and HTML03, and so forth folders. Inside each one of those folders, you have, for example, case 1, case 2, code 1, code 2, tutorial folders that contain files. These files correlate to your book assignments. Inside each one of those folders, you have the actual files that you will be manipulating based upon the assignment. So in order to keep the file structure the same as the data files on the server, I created for the first assignment an HTML01 folder. And inside of that, the assignment says you have to do a case 2, and I created a case 2 folder. Inside of that is where I have my individual files. So that's why my URL has an HTML01/case2/, and then I would use the name of the file. In this particular case, the name of the file that I need to point to from the URL is going to be dr_index.html. The next section I want to talk about are absolute URLs versus relative URLs. Absolute and relative URLs refer to how web addresses are written. Absolute URLs include the entire address, including the domain name. Examples would be https://sites/rex.montcastle/html01/case2/dr_index.html. While relative URLs specify a location relative to the current page. The example would be /HTML01/case2/dr_index.html. Absolute URLs provide the full path to the resource, while relative URLs assume a base URL and only specify the difference from that base. In this case, the base URL is the https://cis-1350-801.sinclair.edu. The key differences are absolute URLs are complete, containing the protocol, which is the HTTP or the HTTPS. It has the domain name. It has the path. While relative URLs only contain the path relative to the current page locations. Absolute URLs are self-contained and can be used anywhere regardless of the current page. Relative URLs are context or dependent, and their meaning changes based on the current page. Relative URLs can be more flexible when moving a website from different domains or when working with content management systems, as they don't require updating all links.